So we got this article on NPR. It says, no need to cut back on red meat. Controversial new guidelines lead to outrage.
I'm getting so sick of the word outrage.
Outrage.
7 people on Twitter are outraged.
And they happen to all be left-leaning and have blue check marks. A new set of analysis published Monday in the Annals of Internal Medicine. I don't like the word annals. I'm just saying that.
Anals? It's
Challenges.
plural?
Yeah, dude. The Annals of Internal Medicine challenges the widespread recommendations to cut back on red and processed meats. The prominent medical journal has also published a new recommendation from a panel of scientists, many of whom are not nutritional experts.
Here we go.
The panel suggests adults continue current processed meat consumption according to the guideline paper. In other words, no need to cut back.
So they're saying that we can, it says the panel suggests adults continue current processed meat.
Yeah, meaning like just business as normal. Just
business as usual, even as adults.
Keep moving on.
Yeah.
So it says scores of nutrition experts say this conclusion contradicts a large body of evidence. I am outraged.
Yes, here we go. Here's the outrage.
Bewildered.
One guy.
Says nutrition scientist Christopher Gardner, a professor of medicine at Stanford University. This is perplexing given the clear evidence for harm associated with high red meat intake, says Frank Hu, the chair of the Department of Nutrition at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Gardner and Hu are among a group of scientists who signed a letter to the journal's editor requesting the papers be held pending further review. However, the authors of the new papers published in Annals say they're not convinced by the studies that link red and processed meats to higher health risks. They conclude that the existing guidelines from leading health groups to limit red and processed meats are weak recommendations that are based on low certainty evidence. So, what explains the divide? In a nutshell, the authors of the new analysis have used an alternative approach to evaluate the evidence. They've used a system known as GRADE, which is a process to rate the quality of scientific evidence.
Interesting.
Using this approach, a kind of study known as randomized controlled trial, or RCT, or for short, is considered high-quality evidence. Nutrition scientist Frank Hu of Harvard says the problem with GRADE is that it was mainly developed for evaluating evidence from drug trials. It's really problematic and inappropriate to use GRADE to evaluate nutrition studies, Hu says. Most of nutrition science is built on another type of study, observational studies. These are conducted by tracking the eating habits of people over many years. But here's the rub. The GRADE system considers these observational studies to be low quality.
Interesting.
Well, let's see if they say why. I have a suspicion why I would think that they think that they're low quality. Our diets, however, are not like drugs. The impact of eating a meat-centric diet is tricky to measure. Unlike a pill, which can be measured against a placebo in a short-term trial, our diets are much more complicated. What we eat today may influence our health over decades, and teasing out an independent effect is tougher because our diets are varied and complex. If a pill leads to an improvement over a placebo, scientists can conclude that the pill is effectuous. Did I say that word right?
Effectuous, yeah, I would concur.
But if you try to use this same model with diet, you can't isolate the effects or say just meat or just processed meat because we eat so many different things as part of our diets. So therefore, critics say the drug evaluation model is not a good fit.
Okay, fair. I can concur.
So where does this leave us? The eaters who are trying to make good choices. There may be a benefit from reducing your intake of red or processed meat, and people should know that, says Bradley Johnston, one of the authors of the new analysis. On the other hand, there may not be a benefit at all. Johnston says, we're uncertain. I asked Johnston what kind of study it would take to provide compelling evidence that reducing red meat consumption can reduce health risks. It would take a lot of money and it would be based on randomized trials, Johnson says. But this is completely impractical, says Harvard's Rim. Can you imagine the cost if you had to give patients red meat almost every day for a decade and then convince the other group not to eat meat for a decade? Yeah, I mean, that would be very, very difficult to track.
It's like, and how could you legitimize that? Yeah, pinky promise, I didn't eat meat. You watch me every second of the day?
There's no way.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, people could come in and get a side of, I don't know, vegetables, and they were cooked near something that could have potentially had some sort of meat-based substance.
Yeah.
Like a some sort of chicken base or something. And then boom.
There's no way. Unless you're
tricky.
like some totalitarian like government like China or something where they hold people.
Yeah.
It's
like you're in prison for 10 years so we can prove this study.
Meat.
Yeah. Here's your steak and potatoes, bro. And they're like, yeah, sweet. And the other guy's like, rice and veggies or else. And they're like, damn, dude, I'm cold all the time.
This is the editor of Annals of Internal Medicine, Dr. Christine Lane, says she agrees it would be tough to carry out such a study. We're not going to be able to do a randomized controlled trial that is going to definitely answer this question, Lane told us, but she defended the decision to publish the new analysis and recommendation, as well as the use of the grade evaluation system. She says the papers show that the quality of the evidence behind the current recommendations to cut down on red and processed meats is not as strong as people may have been led to believe. We should just be transparent, Lane says. I think we should be honest with the public that we don't really know.
That's amazing.
That's pretty much like...
I love this person. What's her name again?
Her name is...
Christine Lane?
Yeah, Dr.
What a
Christine
great and honest thing to say.
Lane.
She seems swell to me.
To see her editor-in-chief.
She's saying we don't know, basically.
Yeah, she's basically saying...
We read an entire article for her to say that we don't really know. Why don't you open with that, my new friend Christine Lane?
So Stanford's Gardner says his biggest concern is this will do a disservice to the public. Well, especially if your agenda is to...
Yes, if I'm pushing my agenda on the public, this is doing them a great disservice because then they're actually in the know that we don't know.
Yeah. He says that by offering up a new guideline, the new papers may confuse people. Yeah, because you've been saying all this shit contrary to
You've
this
been
for
wrong
so long.
this whole time, and you know you're going to get roasted
Yeah.
with some outrage on Twitter.
Harvard's WHO agrees. The publication gives an impression of a major scientific breakthrough, but this is clearly not the case.
Listen, I disagree with that. I think this is a major scientific breakthrough. It's something we can say, hey, we don't know. That is a scientific breakthrough. We're not creating data one way or another. That's a huge breakthrough, I would think.
Yeah, yes. I want to comment on that, but I'm going to read this last paragraph first. WHO and his colleagues says there is a consensus already to improve both human health and environmental sustainability. Boom, right there. He literally just said it, the environmental sustainability. How did I know that they were pushing some sort of eco agenda?
Yeah.
Like I just knew it. Like I didn't want to like
it's like you can't
project
spoil
that
it
and say that, but like I was like, I know there's something fishy here.
Right.
Because it is important to adopt dietary patterns that are high in healthy plant-based foods and relatively low in red and processed meats. Okay, look.
He and his colleagues have a consensus. So me and my friends like to have a hamburger. Well, okay, there you go. So we say that it's okay to have meat. That's our consensus. What's the difference?
Yeah.
They're intelligent and they have degrees and they've done all these studies. Well, clearly what these studies have shown that we don't know. So then at some point that becomes null and void.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that there's so much evidence that kind of goes both ways. And I think she nailed it when she said that the truth is that we don't really know. And the thing is diet is very individual. It's what I'm putting in my body may not be good for you,
Yeah.
For example, if I eat cheese, it messes me up,
I love
Some
cheese.
people can eat cheese and it's no problem.
Extra sharp cheddar Tillamook cheese all
Here's the
day.
thing. I still take cheese. I just take it while I'm on the toilet.
Yeah.
It's
So you're just ready to AV?
Yes. It's so good. I can't put it down, even though it causes so much harm to me.
Yeah.
But the truth is that diet should be taken on a case-by-case basis, that you should evaluate how foods are affecting your body, and you do that by watching, observing the symptoms. If I eat this, how does my body react? And a lot of people have been doing this whole thing with this elimination diet type thing, where it's kind of remove a lot of different things from your diet and then try and slowly introduce new foods into it and then see how your body reacts to it. The idea being that as you continue to add things in, if something, reacts poorly, that might not be good for you. Right. The thing is meat might not be as good for some people than it is for others.
Yeah.
There's people like, Jordan Peterson and his daughter. I can't remember. Michaela, I think is her name. She's been pushing this whole thing that she calls the I think it's not the carnivore diet, because I think that's someone else's thing. I think she calls it the lion diet.
Okay.
Where it's literally just meat with salt and water. Ugh. And these are people that have had, and I'm not saying that that's the answer,
right,
but they had very serious medical concern, like health problems they suffered from for many, many years. And then after they removed everything, they found that meat was pretty much the only thing they could eat, and it made them much healthier.
Interesting.
And both of them, they saw doctors regularly, saw their health much improved after moving to a meat-only diet. And like I said, I don't think that's the answer, but it might be the answer for some people.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where I hate when people like try and dig down and say like this is the way.
This is the way you have to do it.
But right now we have this huge push where this right here, people are pushing this, environmental sustainability, and things like meat go counter to that narrative. And so you're seeing now in a lot of stores all this like move for this plant-based alternatives.
Impossible Whopper, Impossible
Beyond
Chicken,
meat and all that. They've got the Impossible Burger in they got that Impossible meat now in a lot of fast food places. I know Del Taco has like their I think it's the Impossible or Beyond. They call it Beyond tacos or whatever.
Beyond meat.
Then
they've
got you got I know Carl's Jr. has one.
Yes.
I think McDonald's was going to do one, but they called it something else. It was let me look this up.
I remember, so Burger King. So when actually KFC, when they did it, while you're looking that up, that chicken sold out so fast that it was hugely popular, and it's kind of started this trend.
They call it the PLT burger, plant lettuce tomato burger.
Cute. You know what's interesting to me about all of this is that their big sales pitch is that it tastes like meat. They're like, you can't tell the difference. It tastes like meat.
That's
it's like,
not
what
true
is your
too.
insinuation?
Have you had it?
No, hell no.
So I'm
not going to spend the money on a Whopper and not get a regular Whopper.
No, dude. I've tried it. I went to Carl's. I tried it, and I've had the Beyond tacos at Del Taco. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you this: with the burger, it was noticeable that it wasn't meat.
Yeah.
Not to say that it wasn't good. I actually thought it was all right.
Yeah.
The tacos, I practically couldn't tell the difference because Taco or Del Taco uses like grade F meat anyway.
Yes.
And so when I was eating those, I almost couldn't tell
whatever.
the difference.
I'll put hot sauce on this anyways.
Exactly. I'm gonna load it up with hot sauce, so who cares?
But it's just such a weird sales pitch that they're like, get the meat without the meat.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm vegetarian, I want to move away from meat. I want to move away from the idea of meat, right?
That's
Wouldn't
a good
you
point.
think? But they're trying to sell it to meat eaters. And they're going, hey, buy this. You won't be able to tell the difference, maybe, hopefully. It's like, what is that agenda then? Because I'm legitimately confused by that piece.
Yeah. It's just the whole eco thing.
It's like, are we making meat that tastes like veggies for people who are vegetarian to come over? Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's such a weird mindset to me. I can't wrap my head around that aspect.
Right.
What is the push there? Mm-hmm. People having a hard time maybe transitioning, which I can understand. But why would I want to eat a burger if I'm transitioning? If I'm transitioning, I'm just going to grab a salad. Right. Because I love salad. You know?
Yes. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna make meat tasting veggies. I'm gonna make meat that tastes like vegetables and go, look, it's like a veggie, guys. Eat it.
Yes.
You know, like what's the reverse of that? That's when it gets crazy to me, is when you think about it from the reverse.
Yes. Dude, I'm looking right here, this Beyond Meat. Man, their stock is going up. Look at this.
Yeah, it's trending right now, dude. That's a popular thing.
Okay, that was
it
cashed.
Was.
That was cashed. -3.
Yeah. Today. But I mean, I think that what it comes down to again is this idea of one side or the other. The truth is moderation.
Yeah.
That is usually, I would say, the safest bet across the board is moderation. And not too much meat, not too much veggies, not too much alcohol, not too much sugar, not too much anything. You can't just eat fruit. You can't just eat veggies. Mm-hmm. You have to find moderation in all things.
Yeah.
You know, and I know from a religious standpoint, a lot of religions push that aspect, and that's not untrue. You know, I think if you eat a ton of candy, it's going to make you fatter. If you eat a little bit of candy, it's probably not going to affect you as much. If you eat a ton of meat, there's potential to get sick or to get just lethargic and feel like crap. And like what you were saying, to really kind of rein it in and find what works.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I don't eat a ton of steak anymore, and I feel like I can feel it. I feel like I'm not as, I don't know, satisfied with meals lately.
Yeah. Now and here's the thing. I'm fine with all of these, the Beyond Burger and all this. Like, I think it's great. I actually think that it's great that they're finding alternatives and things that may be more efficient. I've you know, they're making meat in labs these days, and you know, yeah, it sounds gross, but I do worry about you know, just the impact that we might be having on the environment, you know. And where I'm more worried about is when you see things like in the ocean. We've just overfished the shit out of the oceans, and we're doing all kinds of not great things. If we could be a little bit more in balance with the environment, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I don't want to get to where we're like that movie Snowpiercer. We're just eating blocks of crickets and shit, you know, because like everything else is just wiped out. So I think it's great to find the balance and sustainability, but I don't like it when I feel like people are lying to me and they're pushing shit to sell an agenda, because it goes, the facts go counter to their narrative.
Right. And then so, it kind of makes you want to go F that narrative.
Yes.
It's like, so then you immediately have to go, well, I don't know what I can trust from this narrative now and this agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah. The idea that you would never do one or the other is crazy to me. That you could say, I'm never eating meat again, or I'm never eating veggies again. That's crazy. Have a little bit of both. Have more vegetables, because vegetables are healthier. Have some meat in there because you need some of that. You need there's viable proteins and things that you have to get from that. And you look at our history, we as a race, Neanderthals weren't like, dude, F meat right now. I'm going straight veggies. And they're like, what? You're going to pick up grass and eat it full time? Well, I need to help me kind of get all this meat through, dude. I need something to kind of like just get me regular again. Okay, cool. Let's eat a little bit of grass. Let's eat that weird looking leaf. Let's make a leaf and grass salad, and we'll put some meat on it. Great. We survived. You can't tell me that today suddenly we're like the weakest entities in all of human history, and we're like, we're so broken. We can only eat one or the other. It's like, no, moderate that diet. Don't go so hard one way that it hurts you in anything.
Yeah, and I think if they, led with that, where it's like, look, we want to be more sustainable. Meat, we're a little unsure about. It may
we're
cause
not
you
sure.
harm.
Yeah,
we're not sure, but you should figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
That'd be more.
And here's some cool pros if we were a little bit more vegetarian.
That'd be great. The problem is that doesn't sell a lot of.
No, it doesn't. It's not, because it's got to shock one way or the other, because it has to catch our attention.
Yes.
We've been so spoiled by headlines and highlights and outrage comments that we're looking for that now.
No tolerance for nuance.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, interesting article.
A lot of fun.
Peace.